so stoked. I cannot tell you guys how happy I am and how blown away I am by hitting 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube. I'm just like absolutely blown away. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support and just sticking around, watching the videos, being a part of this community. It means a lot. I truly do appreciate it, and thank you. So I figured this would be kind of the perfect time to give you guys a bit of my story, a little bit of background on what got me into fishing, what got me into making videos, and kind of what I was doing before that and how the stars somewhat aligned and made it possible for me to get here where I'm at now. So we're here at Burke Lake. We're gonna go out on the water. I'm gonna try to get through this story as quickly as possible. I'm not a very good storyteller, so I don't know, you guys might have to bear with me, but then if you guys stick around to the end of this video, I'll share something with you guys that means even a little bit more to me than the silver play button that eventually will be on its way to my house. But let's get out on the water, try to catch some fish. It's super hot out there. I think it's already in the 90s and it's only like 10 a.m., but let's go have some fun. All right, well, I don't even know where really to begin this story, so we're just gonna start off right at the beginning, how Ace and I got into fishing, and then we'll go from there. Let's get up into that first spot. I'm gonna throw this little square bill around. I know there's some shallow grass up here on this point. Caught a few fish the other day when I was out here filming a mystery tackle box video. This is a lunker hunt jolt. It actually matches the bait here perfectly. It's insane. Actually, I have a clip of it. Check that out for comparison. It's like perfect, dead on. So I'm gonna throw this around a little bit. Oh, fish. Oh, came off. Did he? No, he's still on there. He's just in the grass. Oh, it's a big fish too. Oh, he's not big. Oh, I snagged his ash. Sorry, buddy. Grass bass. I might have swiped at it or something. Felt like a giant because he had about 10 pounds of grass on him. Sorry, but dude. Oh yeah, fish number one. Don't mind if I do. So I've been fishing my whole life. My dad fished, my uncles fished, my grandparents fished. It just kind of ran down the line. Now, I didn't heavily get into bass fishing until I was 12 or 13. And I can remember it pretty clearly, like the first day that it really grabbed my attention. We were down at Lake Gaston. We were visiting my grandparents. They had a small little spot on a campground that they go to on weekends. And my granddad had a small little Coleman crawdad. It was like a 12-foot plastic John boat. Throw a battery on there, throw a trolling motor, you were good to go. And I remember one summer we were down there, and I don't remember exactly how it came to be, but Ace and I got permission to take it out by ourselves one afternoon. And I know that may not seem like that big of a deal, but to us it was very cool. I mean, we weren't like super sheltered or anything like that, but you know, we grew up in Arlington, Virginia, which is about 10 minutes from DC, and it was just a completely different world to be able to take a boat out on the water on a lake and go try to catch fish. It was awesome. I mean, we didn't catch anything, and I was just following Ace's lead the whole time, but it was still really cool, and that's all I really thought about after that. Every time we'd go down there, we'd take that boat out, we'd be out. It didn't matter if it was January or July, we'd be out there like 12 hours a day, and even in the middle of the night. We just wanted to catch fish. Then we started going down to the lake like every other weekend, and that's when it really started picking up. I mean, I started reading as much as I possibly could about bass fishing. I'd spend like 5 hours a day online just trying to read stuff and on forums like Bass Resource and stuff like that. And there was no YouTube going on at the time. This was like 2006. I remember like growing up, we always had a goal of catching one fish each when we went out. Always, that was the thing. If we caught one fish each, it was a good day. Like, we were definitely not good by any means, but we were learning, and we were learning kind of by ourselves. So anytime we could go out and catch anything or get bit, figure something out, it was awesome. Once we were probably 14 and 15, we'd had a couple years under our belts, and that's when I started looking up tournaments. And I mean, I was watching every single Bassmaster event that there possibly was. Our DVR was just filled with fishing videos. I mean, like maxed out. Like our mom would get pissed because she didn't have any space to record anything because there was nothing but fishing content on the DVR. And I found the Fountainhead Bass Club. So we worked it out with our dad, where he brought the Coleman Crawdad up, and we went to fish a tournament in April. I remember it was like the nastiest day you could imagine. It was pouring rain all day long. It was like in the 50s, but we still wanted to go out and fish. And I remember like when we were driving down into Fountainhead Park, like that long, windy road, it's just pouring rain. My dad was like, "You guys sure you want to go out there and fish this thing?" We were like, "Yeah, for sure, definitely, we're going to go." He was like, "I'm not sure anyone's going to be here, you know, because it's so nasty out." As soon as he finished saying that, we pulled around the marina, and there's 20 or 30 boats out there launching and like just getting ready to go. And we were like, "All right, this is sick, let's do it." Oh. Unloaded the boat off the roof of his Explorer, set everything up, and he went to talk to the tournament director just to make sure it was okay that we could fish. And at the time, the tournament director was Dave Blank. I still get this story like every year. It's really funny because they said that they had to like break out the rule book for us because they'd never had anyone not fishing with an adult that was as young as we were. So they weren't sure of like, you know, the insurance policy on that, having minors fish in the event, but whatever. It came down to them basically just, I guess, taking a shot and letting us fish, and we did. So that day was like just shitty. It was so cold. We didn't even get bit, but we stuck around to the weigh-in, and we didn't really think people were going to be bringing in much, but to our surprise, not anymore, no surprise anymore, but the club record was actually broken that day. There was like a few bags over 20 pounds. People did really well. And the winning bag was like 25 or 26 pounds and change. And that was the club record at the time, which now is 33 pounds. So 10 years makes a big difference. 10 years, 8 pounds. It's nuts. But that definitely got us hooked. Even though we didn't get bit, you know, that would discourage a lot of people to go out and fish their first tournament and just absolutely suck it up. That just made us way more hungry and wanted to fish more. So that day, actually, our dad came to pick us up, and he was looking around at the bulletin board at Fountainhead, and someone was selling a John boat. It was like a 14-foot V-hull, and it had a 9.9 on the back. It was $300. The guy said it had been sitting there for 4 years or 5 years. Didn't know much about the boat, didn't know if the motor ran, but we went and checked it out. It looked all right. My dad was like, "All right, let's just take a shot on it." So we did, and he cleaned out the carburetor, motor ran fine. The boat was great. Built out a deck on it, and we were set to go. Now at this point, I still didn't have a license. So our dad was pretty much dropping us off at the ramp every tournament, or like on weekends or after school, he'd pick us up and take us down there. So we'll jump a couple years ahead, and I'm 18 now. Pops gave me his Explorer, he got a new truck, so now I had a tow vehicle. And this is when things just went kind of crazy. I mean, I fished literally every chance that I had. I was fishing after school, I was fishing on weekends, I was fishing every tournament that I could. Shoot, even during school sometimes. Like on those kind of light days, I would, not go, and I would just go out on the water. Ace and I had a couple days like that. Continued fishing the next 2 years, fished all the Fountainhead tournaments, always trying to make the classic. And I guess we fished 3 seasons, and we came in like that next to last place where we didn't make it, I think was our closest. We never won, we never cashed. I think our best finish was like a 4th place, which, you know, obviously we were super stoked on. Still stoked on that 4th place finish. It was in my head that I wanted to do something within the fishing world. I did. Like, I wanted to either be like a touring pro if I could ever get that good, or I wanted to be a guide or whatever. It didn't matter. I just wanted to fish, and I wanted to be on the water all the time. So we get older, life catches up with us. You know, we're 18 and 19 at this point. Both of us move out of the house, and that's kind of when, you know, fishing fell to the back burner. A bunch of different serving jobs and playing poker on the side, and doing pretty well. And we were still fishing when we could, but it wasn't as much as we'd like. I can definitely say that for a fact. Like maybe a couple times a year, there might have been, you know, a year in between that 5-year stretch where there was no fishing. And priorities just changed, you know. When you get older and you're not making money doing something, it makes life hard, especially when you don't have a lot of money. So that's just kind of the way it went. And then, you know, we're getting older, and Ace and his wife are expecting their first child, and they moved out from Fairfax to Ashburn, Virginia. And there's a bunch of ponds out there. And that's kind of when Ace got back into fishing. He got back into it before I did. One day in like August of 2015, he sends me a text saying like, hey, have you ever seen these videos on YouTube? And he sends me a link to one of One Rod's videos. And I watched it, and then I checked out his channel and watched like a bunch of them. And then I looked at like John's channel and Lunkers, and there were a few other people too. And I was like, holy crap, this is dope. Like, that's awesome. And that's when the wheels started turning in my brain. And I was like, is this a possibility to do full time? Like, are these guys doing this full time? Do they make any money from it? Are they just fishing like whenever they want? That looks amazing. Like, that's what I want to do. And I found out that it is possible, but it is like really, really, really freaking hard. And it would take a long time to get to the point where I was actually making any decent money to go full time. But I'd be able to fish. Ace is the driving force behind me ever starting and trying out YouTube. Now, I'd never filmed anything, I'd never spoken to a camera, I'd never done anything like this. But I had a little bit of background in video editing from when I was younger, because I used to skate all the time and make skate edits and like sponsor edits. So I figured I'd be able to figure it out again. And most editing softwares all kind of run in the same format, like a timeline. You got your clips. It's basically just trying to figure out, oh, they're starting to jump. Get off of there. Trying to figure out where everything is within the program and how to lay it out. So I'm 24 at this point when I find out about YouTube. Where'd I put my scissors? I was working in a restaurant downtown in DC called Hill Country Barbecue, and I was playing poker whenever I could. So I was just coming off like my best year. I think I won like 35 grand or something like that in Vegas, which half of it went to my buddy D because he was staking me or backing me in the events. And I went out there with my buddies, Whitey and Izzy, we'll call them. So keep these names in mind because they are very important in the story. Ace is getting me back into fishing and tells me about the YouTube thing, and I think it's just freaking awesome. So that's where we started to try to get things rolling. I don't have anything at this point. I don't have a boat, I don't have a tow vehicle, I don't have a bunch of gear, I don't have any cameras. I don't really have a computer to edit on, but I just wanted to try it. So started figuring out a place to live, car to buy, a boat to buy, and I'm starting to fish a little bit more with Ace and Trevor at this point and just figuring things out. Now, I don't have like some ridiculous amount of money or anything at this point because, I won a little bit in Vegas, came back, and was just kind of an idiot. I pretty much took that summer off after I won and just hung out with a girlfriend because she just graduated college from the University of Miami, and just hung out, traveled a bit. It's all good. Money comes and goes. I was having fun. I was young, still young. And it is what it is. But now I have a reason to need money, and I really want to focus on getting back into fishing. Yeah, it was November, December. I played actually a charity poker event, which is like pretty surprisingly big for a charity event, but they're held in DC, and coincidentally it was actually held at the restaurant that I worked at in the basement. So it was like 150 players, and I won. I think it was 6 grand. So I already knew what I was going to do with that money. I was going to buy a truck, just like a beater truck, and I was going to start looking for a boat. So that same week, I went and bought a Ford Explorer. I got some gear, and I started looking around for a boat, and that's when my buddy Trevor was like, yo, I'll sell you my old boat for 1,200 bucks. I was like, awesome. We had to rebuild the deck on it. It was perfect. I also found somewhere else to move, which was like a few miles from where I lived. And if you guys remember the townhouse I used to live in, that's where I moved, kind of specifically to have a garage and a place to keep the boat. So I moved, I bought a car, I bought a boat, got some gear, and we were pretty much set to get fishing again. My roommate had a GoPro 3 just laying around, so he let me borrow it, and I started taking it out with me and just kind of leaving it on the deck and trying to figure out how these things worked, what's going to be the best way to use it. Me and Ace's goal at this point was to film all the tournaments because we were going to get back into the Fountainhead Bass Club tournaments, which we were stoked on. I felt like I was 16 again, just like months out, waiting for this first tournament to pop off. So the first video I ever made was actually pre-fishing on the Occoquan Reservoir for the first Fountainhead tournament of the year. It's definitely cringy, but I caught some good fish. So if you guys want to check it out, I'm actually going to leave that linked down in the description below. So I was bartending at this point in Arlington, and I'd go in at either 3 or 5 o'clock, and every day it didn't matter. I'd wake up at 4 a.m., go out fishing, film a video, and then go to work. So my first year on YouTube, I don't even know how many videos I made. I might have made like 80 videos, but I made no money. But I mean, again, at this point, it really wasn't about making money. It was just about being able to fish. And it's always been that. And it always will be that. Like, obviously I need to make money to live. You know, you can't pay rent and your bills and for gas and for gear on nothing. Fish. Haha, look at that little squeak. We're gonna need to get a little bigger. Little crankbait action. See ya. So the next, year on YouTube, I continue to grow. Like the muskie hunt videos definitely helped me grow significantly, and that was something I just absolutely fell in love with. I gained a lot of traction doing that, and it's something I love to do still to this day is muskie fish. Actually, this is the lake that started the muskie hunt, because I saw this dude out here in January on a canoe just catching. He caught 2. He was just trolling back and forth down the middle and caught 2. So at this point I have 30,000 subscribers, and I'm still growing slowly, but growing and working a lot, continuing to fish. Fishing just never gets stale to me. I don't know what it is about it, but I love it. So this is when one of my good old poker buddies reached out, kind of with an offer, saying that he basically back me to live for 6 months and give it a 6-month run until YouTube was sustainable. And in return, they'd get a small stake in the business side of YouTube. So, we worked out a deal, and that's when I decided I'd give it a go. And it actually was not just one person, it was 3 of my poker buddies. They came together, kind of came up with this plan and idea, and that allowed me to go full time when I obviously wasn't making enough on YouTube. So I was cool with it. It allowed me to fish whenever I wanted. It allowed me to, make a run at a dream that I had had since I was 13 years old. And these are people, all 3 of them, that I trust very, very much. Super smart business guys. Like Izzy could sell ice to an Eskimo. Whitey is a seasoned professional poker player. He's been playing professionally for 10 years, maybe more. He has well over $1 million in earnings from poker tournaments, and that's not even counting cash. And then D is just the business mogul, just a perfect group. It's a good group of people that I trust and want to work with. So it wasn't just my friends' help for me to go full time. I was also sponsored by Mystery Tackle Box at this point, and making some income from them. So with this 6-month run that I had to go full time to try to make my life sustainable, Mystery Tackle Box was a humongous help in that. That was January of 2018, but I did, and I was able in that 6 months, I think I grew, I want to say it was from 25 or 30,000 subs actually to 50 or 60, and I was able to sustain a living. It was a very tight living, don't get me wrong, it was pretty tight, from YouTube and Mystery Tackle Box. So that was pretty lucky, and I was able to do that. And I don't know, you guys are probably over the story. So now we're here, August 2019, 100,000 subscribers. Been working my ass off for the last 3.5 years, and every single piece of it has been worth it. And it's been really cool to be able to grow and see something grow. This has been my baby since I started it, and I really decided to try to take it and turn it into something that I could make a living off of. I mean, doing what I love, it's an amazing feeling. It really truly is. There's still days that are somewhat stressful and tough, and when I have 5 or 6 videos to edit, it's well, all right, there's people that would absolutely love to be in this situation right now. So I try to never ever complain about it and never take it for granted, because it's a Thursday right now and it's beautiful outside and I'm fishing and I'm not behind a bar. There's a really big grass patch up on the left side of this. Oh, fish. Oh, okay. What the hell? This feels weird. This might be a cat. This is pulling, rolling like a cat. What the hell? Kitty? Did I snag a kitty? Is it a good bass? I can't tell. He's all wrapped up in the, what is it? Oh, snakehead! Yes, sir. Come here, buddy. He's blinded. He can't tell he's blind. Check this dude out. Decent snakehead. Not bad. Wasn't expecting that. It didn't feel like a bass when it bit, but it did crush that spinnerbait in the grass. I would catch and cook him, but I don't have anything to keep him in right now. So we're gonna let him go. See ya. Going home. Well, this is what I was telling you guys about earlier that I was so excited for. So excited to open. Not just because it's a bottle of Knob Creek, but that. So 2 years ago on my birthday, Ace and I were fishing out on Burke Lake, where I just fished today actually. And he gave me this, surprised me with this bottle, and told me I can open it when I hit 100K on YouTube. So that's why he got it engraved with 100K on the back. We finally hit it. So we're gonna open this thing up and have a little swig. And then I'm gonna save the rest for when I see Ace, and then some of the boys, and my dad, and whoever else. And obviously Priscilla. Do you want some of this?
Take a sip.
Okay. Smells like hard work and a good time. Pinkies up.
Pinkies up.
Do you agree? Cheers.
Congrats, Killa.
Damn, that's good. Thanks, Ace. Thanks to all of you as well. And so we're gonna end this video off. I really hope you enjoyed. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for me. See you on the next one.